Freddie Rubino here. Welcome to the News and Coffee, brought to you by Bean and Brew Coffee and Tea.com. I'm having bourbon pecan today. Fantastic coffee. Listen, I know I told you before, if you want to do fundraisers, they sell a small 1 pound, not 1 pound, like a couple of ounce bags, small bags for a fundraiser. But if you want to go big, fundraiser, have your own label on 1 pound bags of coffee and sell them for your charity. It's a no miss. And don't forget, right up here is the link and promo code for 10% off any order for the rest of your natural life. Not unnatural. Today I'm going to go over the news that how the Letitia James, Arthur Engeron, that was the judge, can very well cause the destruction of New York City's construction. I'll break it down for you. It's very simple. And this is what the travesty that they did, not just to Trump, but to construction in New York City. By the way, construction in New York City, hundreds of thousands of people are employed in New York City doing construction. If this case harms that, then already New York is in a lot of fiscal trouble. To stop hundreds of thousands of people, that's just the construction, and then the people who work in those buildings are more, 1 million people it could affect. Here's the problem. When you build, I've been in construction 37 years in New York City. Here's the crux of it. There are things called underwriters. When you want to build a building in New York, these are a group of people that are hired that underwrite, that say you can or cannot get a major construction loan to build a building in New York City. Very important piece of the link for construction. The underwriters, there's like 5 things that they do. One of the biggest things is they look into if you could afford to pay it back. It's money. It's all about money. So what happens is, let's say I have a building that's worth $1 million, my house, let's say. And I say I want to borrow $500,000 to buy another piece of land. The underwriters come in. They look at it. They say, not only do you need to put the $1 million house up, we have to make sure that that house is worth $1 million. That's the first thing they do. Then they look into it and they say, how many stocks do you have? What bank account do you have? What are your assets that you could very easily sell and secure this loan? They look into that, and only after they look into, it's a big corporation, they look into it and then they say yes or no if you are able to get the loan. The underwriters not only said yes to Donald Trump, but they told all the lenders that this guy is good for any building to build in New York because he has that many assets. They looked into it. So to rule that he overinflated, it was the underwriters who look into it. I could say my $1 million home is worth $1 billion. But when the underwriters look, they'll say, no, it's not. Boom, denied. So you have to be pretty factual and in the ballpark every time it's passed. So no matter what Donald Trump puts on it, it's the underwriter's job. Now here's where it gets really horrendous. All the banks said they still want to do business with Donald Trump. All the banks said that he did nothing wrong. All the banks said that they made a fortune with him paying it back on time, even early. Now, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, has the power for no reason, because there was no reason, because all the banks said there was no crime, For no reason, she has the power to say yay or nay to any construction in New York. Not only that, she has the power now, halfway through construction, or at the start, after money has been exchanged and people, there's maybe $100,000. Let's say you borrowed $900,000 to build a building. $100,000 right away goes into surveying, goes into bonds put up for people's insurance who work there. Money is spent immediately. She could come in and say, I'm stopping the project because it's got 40% minorities on it. I'm stopping the project because I feel that the concrete company is not people that we want to do business in New York. For any reason. Now $100,000 is lost. That's a big gamble. So now underwriters are saying, no matter what we do, if we look into your company and say you can't afford to build a skyscraper, there's no protection against Letitia James taking a payoff to whoever and saying, I'm going to stop it, or you're not allowed the permits, or whatever. She could just say, you lied, I think you lied, and you're off. So now the underwriters have to take that. It's a sixth step in the already grueling 5-step underwriting process. And that step could override everything. So, if Chase Manhattan Bank wants to build a 50-story building in Manhattan, gets all the approval, starts to break ground, they buy the steel, they buy the concrete, they're in 200 grand. They're in 200 million already spent without doing anything. She can come in getting paid off by another bank and say, I'm putting a stop to Chase Manhattan's headquarters. Why? I think you've lied. Do you see the amount of power she now has? All the checks and balances are gone. So, as a company, as an underwriter, why would you? There is a very, very dangerous situation where they might turn around and say, no matter what we say, we can't protect the money. So why would investors invest in New York anymore if this is in danger? Hundreds of thousands of people depend on the construction in New York City. It is the greatest construction in the greatest city. The unions, the trade unions in New York are the greatest trade unions in the world. The most highly trained, the most extensive system of apprenticeship. And she's throwing that all away just by her now having the power of saying, I don't want you to build anymore. This is racketeering. This is racketeering. This is going through one person. All the power. She could be paid off. She could be paid off by China. China could now just tell Letitia James, let's bankrupt Manhattan. I want you to go in and stop 5 projects. This is what you don't understand. If she goes in and stops 2 or 3 more projects, all the underwriters will say, we're not signing off on any more construction because we don't know what she's going to do. That's all it takes. That's all it takes because it's $1 billion, 900 million, 800 million to build a building. So that she could completely destroy construction in New York City with this fine and with finding Donald Trump, and it doesn't even matter if it's Trump, anyone without any factual evidence that there was wrongdoing. This city is in such deep shit with this person that it must be overturned immediately because hundreds of thousands, 1 million New Yorkers depend on construction and to work and thrive in those new buildings, from the people who clean the buildings to maintain the buildings, building the buildings, every part of it. That's how dangerous this is. It's pure racketeering. If John Gotti was doing this, he'd be in jail for life just on this one charge. That's how dangerous it is. It has nothing to do with Democrat, Republican, liberal. It's pure, straight up racketeering. And she must be removed immediately. That's why the governor of New York, after that, came right out and made a big announcement and said, listen, all the construction companies, don't worry. You don't have to worry. It's not going to happen to you. What's not going to happen to you? That she's just going to step in and say no? That's what she's saying. The governor of New York is admitting that this can absolutely chase all construction out of New York. And she's saying, please, don't be scared. I'm telling you it won't happen to you. Which means she's okay with it happening illegally to Donald Trump. Okay? She could turn around and tell you you don't own your house anymore because I think you lied when you bought your house. That's the power she has now. Very dangerous times in this country. Freddie Rubino here. I hope you share this. Facebook doesn't like to share the truth. But I'm telling you right up what the worst part of the whole situation is. And this could destroy New York City. Completely destroy it. I love you guys. Please share this. Please buy the coffee. And thank them. When you put the promo code GTFOH, put a little heart. Put a little thank you. Because the coffee's great.